What are the top financial stresses felt by average Americans? Hi, my name is JJ. I'm a retired CPA. My channel is about personal finance, retirement, and food. So many of us are stressed about our financial situation. And what are the top ones that are experienced by most Americans? So number one stress is high inflation, especially in the past 4 or 5 years. Number two is debt, the amount of debt carried by average Americans. Number three is high cost of living everywhere here in the United States. Number four is low wages. I'm just gonna stop here because the list can go on and on and on, but you wanted to understand the top few stress factors that affect our overall well-being, because financial stress will lead to poor health if you don't take care of it. You have to understand why you feel stressed out about money and what you can do about it, right? So in today's episode, I wanted to talk about this stress, and more importantly, what can we do about it? In my opinion, there is a mismatch of perception and the reality. Perception is how much money we need to live comfortably and have it all here in America, and how much money we actually have to live day to day. And there are so many complaints out there on social media. People are complaining about everything: high cost, low wage, on and on. So my advice is you stop complaining. You take an inventory of your financial situation. So it's a very simple equation: your income and your expenses. What I suggest you do, you take a analysis of your financial situation, how much income you bring in every month, and how much expenses you have every month. This is where you can download your bank history, do a couple months, do analysis, understand your financial reality. However you do it, I don't think you need to hire anyone. I don't think you need to buy any app that promise you wonders of the world. You don't need to do that. You just need to look at your actual expenditures and actual income in the past few months and get a hold of your financial situation. Now, I'll talk more about this particular analysis. It's easier said than done, and many people don't do it. You know, I'm a CPA. I don't do this often myself, but I recommend you do it. It's the beginning of the year. You want to get a handle of your financial situation. The high inflation have caused so much stress. This election cycle, right, is so tumultuous, and we re-elected Donald Trump because he promised that he can fix the high inflation, and many people believe he can handle the economy a little better than the Democrat. So we gave him a chance to see what he will do. I personally don't believe the government can do too much about high inflation because we are a market economy. The government doesn't set prices. That's another topic and can of worms. I'm not going to go in. But take an inventory, understand your financial situation. And here are a couple of my questions to you. If you live paycheck to paycheck, you feel financially stressed, you don't think you go ahead, you can just make progress of your life, and because you're just stuck financially, right? I wanted you to answer these questions. This is affordability questions. So, can you afford the expensive cars you drive and the car loans you have? You go on the road, you see the American drive big ass cars and brand names, BMWs and all those Mercedes, and they're all over, right? And the vehicles are very, very large. And it's the reality. Can you afford this expensive car, multiple cars, and the car loans if you have one? Number 2 is eating out or ordering takeout, right? How much you spend per month eating outside or ordering takeout? That means you don't cook at home. That includes breakfast, lunch, and dinner, happy hours. You need to get an understanding of how much food consumption you do outside of your home. Take an inventory. This is all about taking an inventory of where your money goes. Can you afford all of those subscriptions that you have per month, right? So I'm not gonna name all of them, but there are many. Every app costs money. If you want certain features of a particular app, they cost money. You listen to music, it costs money. If you want ad free, everything is, it's $10 per month, is $1 per day, is very affordable. I want you to add up how much money you pay on these subscription services. Just understand how much money you spend on. And the last thing I would like you to take an inventory is how much those vacations and quote unquote experiences that you spend money on. It doesn't have to be an all-out European vacation, 12 days and cruise and summer shore homes, and it doesn't have to be that. It could be a concert, it could be other quote-unquote experiences that you enjoy but you spend money on. It could be a golf club, right? So these are all life pleasures that cost money and we spend money on. Depends on what your pleasures are. Everybody is different. Take a rough inventory, how much you spend per year, and you can divide it by 2, and that give you roughly monthly an outlay of these expenditures. So these are the 4 items I would like you to take an inventory of how much money you spend on your cars and car loans, your eating out or ordering takeout cost, your subscription services, and your vacations, hobbies, and experiences that you enjoy. Everything and all these cost money. There are other areas, and I feel if you trying to list everything, it can be very overwhelming. If you start with a few, chunk it down to a few manageable exercise. So these 4 areas, I feel they are manageable. This is what I considered discretionary expenditures, are examples of discretionary expenditures. I mean, your discretionary expenditures can be different than these 4, but this is just what I think, at least today. Get an understanding of this, and then you can begin to answer the questions that can you afford all these discretionary expenditures. If you cannot, sometimes the answer is very obvious. You know you cannot afford all of these, but you spend money on anyway. Once you do this analysis, at least you know how much money you spend. and then you pick 1 to 3 areas to cut back on these discretionary expenditures. If your income is below your expenses, you feel you cannot move ahead financially, right? A lot of the Gen Zers and millennials, and they're complaining about boomers, they're complaining about Social Security, they're complaining about retirement. They feel they're not attainable to their generation, let alone home ownership. But the reality is that you can do something about this. We living today. This is the reality that you experience today, your income and your expenses. What can you do? Before you do anything, understand your financial situation. And if you're ready to tackle your discretionary expenditures, find 1 to 3 areas to cut back. Hopefully this makes sense to you. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. It'll help spread the word to those who may need help from me. And I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye-bye.